found it at Target.
What was it?
Guess.
A pumpkin.
No. Okay, I'll tell you. The Butcher and the Wren. Have you heard about it?
Nope.
Okay, this is one of the co-hosts of Morbid, which is a really big podcast I used to listen to at work all the time. Alaina. She wrote this book. I think it's her first book ever, and it came out, I think, today.
Oh, wow.
I almost pre-ordered it.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't. And I found it at Target, and they had a thing covering up the front section of the books. And I walk over there, and I found it. And it's not even that big. It's a good size.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to read it today.
Oh, yeah.
It was a very exciting Target trip. I think you would enjoy this book, too, because it's kind of, it says on the back, The Butcher and the Wren is perfect for Dexter, or fans of Dexter. Have you seen that show?
I think.
Heard of it?
Yeah, I know what it is.
He's just kind of a sociopath type deal, and he's a murderer. I'm gonna go ahead and start reading. I think I'm gonna take the cover off because it's kind of slipping and sliding a little bit. But I'm gonna start reading. Okay, here we go. Okay guys, I had to wait until he left for work because I don't know about you guys, but I have to read in complete silence. It's actually really inconvenient because I live with him. I have a dog who's always whining, crying, needing to play, needs this, needs that. I don't know, I just can't deal with noises. And the lighting on this camera, I don't know exactly how to use it, so hopefully it's somewhat cohesive between all the clips, but I feel like right now it's kind of yellowish, but I have tan walls and yellow lighting. Yeah, the second page already made me laugh. And I think it's gonna be good. She's talking about the corpse flower, which we have here at North Carolina State University in one of the greenhouses. They have a corpse flower and people go crazy over it when it blooms. It smells like death, apparently. I've never seen it or been to it, but she's starting to talk about it. And he's comparing himself to this flower. What's his name? Jeremy. He said it's large, beautiful, and without any outward mechanism that would suggest it is dangerous. Yet, when it blooms every 10 years or so, it releases an odor that resembles rotting flesh. It survives, though. It thrives. He is not so different from the corpse flower. People flock to this curious plant, and it has cultivated a base of admiration despite its quirks. Yeah, people flock to go and see and smell. And it's kind of we as people have an infatuation with crime and murderers and all that, so it's pretty cool how she's talking about that. And I think with the podcast and what she does for work, she does something with bodies. I need to look it up. I'll write it here. And she reads about murderers all the time, that I think she's gonna have good insight on the psyche and how to think like a murderer. It's gonna be, I'm really excited to see how this goes. Okay, so the other two people that he's keeping in his house, he met at the bar and then lured them home saying he was attractive and they wanted to do drugs with him or something. And my mouth is dropping because she kept crying, and he took a pair of pliers and tore out one of her fingernails. Okay, so I'm feeling I'm gonna film from a different angle of me just reading because it feels like you guys are staring at me while I read, and that's kind of I'm feeling the pressure. So I'm gonna continue on and give an update in a little while. Okay, so I had to stop and walk my dog. It's why I'm in a different shirt. It might look a little sweaty or greasy. Sorry. I'm only about 10 pages in, and it's already has such a good, you're learning such a good baseline about the character, how he grew up, how he was kind of neglected, how he was already interested in lobotomies, and how he already undermined Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Jeffrey Dahmer. And he thought, how do I say this? He thought that Jeffrey was just kind of, they said that Jeffrey, in the news, they said that Jeffrey used lobotomy to kill his victims, and then he's like, why would they say that? Why would they use that word? Lobotomy is such an amazing thing. You have to be such an intellect to use it. And Jeffrey used cleaning products and thought he could make people zombies, is what this guy was saying. And from what I know about serial killers and things like that, is that they always think they know best, and they're just narcissists, basically. So I'm already really enjoying it, and how it's all being laid out before the book's even really started is really good. A+. Also, I forgot to say this earlier. Congratulations to Alaina, the co-host of Morbid, for writing this. This is amazing, and I am so excited for her to have written a book, and just congratulations. This is so exciting. I'm sure you're excited. I hope you are, and I hope you're proud of yourself for all the hard work you've put into your podcast and your book. And you're also a mother, so you're doing 1,010 things, I'm sure, at all times. But I know this book is going to be well loved, and you're killing the game. Okay, I just finished chapter 2, and it was from the perspective of WREN, who is doing the, I'm learning all of the words. I think I'm gonna have to get a highlighter to learn what some of this stuff means. But from her podcast, I've recognized some of the words, but then it's in such detail of lividity, and the body is rigor mortis and things like that. It's in a lot of detail to where it shows exactly what she knows, exactly what she's talking about, but it means I have to really be paying attention. So Dr. WREN Mueller is a forensic pathologist. Let me just even look up what that is, just to make sure. Okay, so pathology is the study of causes and effects of disease or injury, and she is a forensic pathologist. The forensic pathologist is a subspecialist in pathology whose area of special competence is the examination of persons who die suddenly, unexpectedly, or violently. And they are experts in determining cause and manner of death. Something important that I want to mention, guys, is this is written in third person. I know that bothers some people, but it's just, you just get used to it when you're reading a book that's in third person, and eventually it flows in your mind. Some people really prefer first person point of view in writing, but this is third person for both of the characters, I believe. You're getting two different perspectives. You're getting Dr. WREN's, the forensic pathologist, and you're getting Jeremy's, who is the assumed murderer. Another cool thing that's happening in chapter 2, they're in Louisiana, and that's the setting. She has 2 trainees with her, and I really love that, because in any new job, sometimes it's really nerve-wracking to go into training, and if people have the patience to teach you or not. And the character Dr. WREN was talking about how she was trying to have a teaching moment with them and asking questions about the body. What do you think the time of death is? And there's police officers there who are sighing and giving attitude when she's trying to teach, and but she continued to do so, and I'm proud of her for doing that, because that's the reality of a lot of stuff, is some men can give some attitude, and they gave her some tude on the scene. One thing I'll say is, if you don't listen to the podcast, or this is one of your first books of thriller, murder mystery type deal, is there's going to be some words to learn how to use, and I wish there was a table of contents or something in the back. Maybe I'm being too much, but yeah, just something for people to reference when they have no idea what these words mean. But obviously you can look them up and do your due diligence. And some people won't probably care to know exactly what these things mean, but that's something I've thought of. If you don't listen to the podcast, then you might have to, it might take you a little bit more time to learn some of the words, but that's okay, because you're learning and growing, and it's amazing. at the beginning of the book, he's talking about how he has taken 2 victims, Katie and Matt, and how he's looking to take his biology partner, Emily, as well. And that has got to be the worst bio partner, lab partner you could ever have in your entire life. The detective that she works with, his name is Lorix, L-E-R-O-U-X, Lorix. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but he was on the phone with his boyfriend, and I just love that there's representation in this book. There's been friendship in this book. There's been coworker relationships, and it's just some books don't even hit any of those things, and it's already hit all of those, and it's just really impressive. Anyways, I'm on page 88, and I'm gonna continue on until I hit halfway, and then I'll take a little break. Alright guys, I'm about halfway through the book now. I'm on chapter 17, and I have a few notes to go over of just details about the book that you might want to know, or just to summarize some things that I've already said. At this halfway point, I want to mention that this book is written in 3rd person. It's dual point of view. It's from Dr. WREN, and there's representation in this book. There's friendship in this book. There's coworker relationships in this book. Some have gone more into detail than others, but I still like that you get glimpses of the characters' lives and those different scenes. You get friends, you get coworkers, you get partners, and it makes the characters come to life when you have more details about them than just one point of view of them at work or them solving a mystery and whatnot. It gives a lot of depth to the characters. She mentions Dr. WREN listening to a podcast. I really enjoyed that little excerpt because they have a podcast. I wonder how many times I've said that word. I'm gonna have to cut it out some. And I'm wondering right now, halfway through the book, something I'm curious about is there going to be a twist in the book, or is it going to be kind of straightforward of solving the crime, figuring out the crime, putting him away in jail? And the aspect of how he kills his victims is really, really interesting. It's not what I thought it was going to be, and she's also given a lot of depth to the murderer, the serial killer, and it's just really well done so far, in my opinion. It's her first book, and I'm quite impressed. And it's a very bingeable book. You can sit down and read this in one day and not get tired of it, which I really love because that's what I'm doing. We'll see what happens. We'll see if there's a twist. If there's not, and this is my first reading vlog, I really, really hope I'm not giving anything away, but I don't think I am because I've watched so many reading vlogs. And I don't think I am. I think this is a good way to hype up the book and make you want to read it because it's just so awesome. Just somebody, their first book, you gotta rally, you gotta support. Of course, I'll check in with you guys again. It's getting even better. The book's getting even better because I feel like it picked up exactly when it needed to pick up, with more drama, or I don't know how to describe it. Not drama, but more action, basically. It picked up exactly when it needed to have more action, to keep you encapsulated in the book. She's killing it. She's killing it. I finished The Butcher and the Wren. I'm still trying to collect my thoughts on the ending. I feel like this is a book you could definitely read 2 times and still get something new out of it. Reading it a second time, you would find clues and things that you didn't realize were there the first time. With her being a autopsy technician. She had so much knowledge on the subject. There's lots of vocabulary and methods that made this book so legit and so accurate that I don't know if other people could do as well with that. I feel like at some points it was a little bit wordy, but it's because she wanted to give information about things. She wanted to give background or histories about locations and things, which it wasn't that much, but it is something, a writing style. It's just her writing style. I really enjoyed it. The cover is super cool of the eye, and you can see him there. It's not what I thought it was going to be, and I really enjoyed what it ended up being. I don't know. I feel like it needs a sequel or something. It could definitely have another book with it. And I hope it does, because I don't know. I'm trying to think what I would rate this book. I've definitely never read anything like this book. And this is tough. This is tough to know how to rate it, because it was such... It's like I knew what was going to happen, but it didn't happen in the way that I thought it would happen, if that makes sense. Overall, it's a really good book. It's a good read. It's a good thriller. It's a good book to read in the fall, October, and I really enjoyed it. I read it pretty much in one day, and it's a bingeable book. It's all the things that I said halfway through still. I really enjoyed it though. I'm feeling a 4.5 stars. I'm feeling 4.5 stars because I did kind of know where things were gonna go, but it didn't happen the way I thought it would happen. And I don't know. I really did enjoy reading this book. It was a fun, bingeable read, and I recommend. I think you should read it too. I could definitely reread this book and it would make even more sense than it did this time. I understand what happened, but being able to reread it and know what's going to happen, you'll know what I mean if you read this. You'll know what I mean if you read this. And yeah, 4.5 stars. I recommend. You need to read this, and if you can read a book 2 times and get something out of it each time, it's a good book, and you can learn a lot from this book as well, from her being an autopsy technician. So grab yourself a copy of The Butcher and the Wren and have a good fall, October season with this read. Thanks for watching my reading vlog, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!